destiny permits me to begin this endeavor. It is the duty of mortals to finish it.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Today, I want to bring to you guys another game review. I haven't done one of these in a while, and I want to start doing more of them because I actually really enjoy making them, and I feel like I have some good opinions. So, our second ever game review is going to be about Mortal Kombat 1. Mortal Kombat 1 sets out to restart the timeline for the second time in the franchise's history. The first reset came back in 2011's Mortal Kombat, otherwise known as Mortal Kombat 9 by most people, including me. In that game, Raiden is warned from a future version of himself from the previous game, Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Yeah, we're just gonna skip over Mortal Kombat vs. DC. Just forget about it, okay? Throughout Mortal Kombat 9, Raiden seeks to change the future and stop Armageddon from ever happening in the first place. Ultimately, he does by letting Shao Kahn merge Earthrealm and Outworld before he officially won the Mortal Kombat tournament. In doing so, Shao Kahn was killed by the Elder Gods. Then came Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 11. At the end of Mortal Kombat 11, Raiden transfers his godhood to Liu Kang, making him the Fire God. Liu Kang then defeats Kronika and takes control of the Hourglass, making him the Keeper of Time. This is when Liu Kang resets time and begins his new timeline with a vision of peace and choice for everyone. Liu Kang deems this his new era. So I'm going to cut this into segments. I have 4 main areas of things I want to talk about. And the first topic I want to talk about is the graphics. So the graphics for this game are just insane. They're on another level. The graphics help out a lot in making the game feel more visceral and just a little bit more uncomfortable and unnerving to play and to look at, especially with the fatalities and the fatal blows. Each one of them has their own way of making you feel a little uncomfortable, but you also get the sense of, whoa, that was pretty cool. So anyway, that's really all I have to say about the graphics. They're kind of self-explanatory, so the graphics score I'm going to give an overall 10 out of 10 on the graphics. So the next section of things I want to talk about is gameplay. And for me, gameplay is probably the best thing out of this entire game. Every character in this game feels very fun to play. Now, a little bit of a disclaimer. I haven't played every character, but I've played over half of them. And for each one, I had a lot of fun playing them. Figuring out combos to each character. And, the style that each character has is awesome. Every character has their own visuals and styles of fighting, and it makes it look really great. The change to a more aerial type of combat system is actually very fun and makes it look so stylish, makes you feel awesome when you pull a string of combos. There's also a mastery system for each character. When you get to level 35 on a character, which is the max, you supposedly unlock a golden mastery skin for that character, although I haven't yet gotten there for any of the characters, nor have I actually seen the costumes. If that is true, that would bring a lot of value to continuously play the game and stay invested till the next game comes out. The gameplay for me is my favorite thing out of this Mortal Kombat game, and honestly, my favorite gameplay out of all the Mortal Kombat games. I think this gameplay style absolutely feels the best for me, so gameplay is also getting a 10 out of 10. Now, for the third topic, I want to talk about Invasions Mode. For Invasions Mode, it's actually really fun. I think it's a fun mode. They're trying to do like an RPG style game mode. It basically replaces the crypt because there are rewards you can find in chests and skins you can unlock for characters after you beat that character's boss version. So basically, when you get to the end of a world, you face a boss, and whatever character that is, after defeating them, you get the costume that they're wearing. I personally think that's awesome. Although I haven't beat Invasions yet, but it is very cool to me. And I've been having a lot of fun with it. So based off the fun that I'm having right now and my excitement for future seasons of Invasion and what they're going to add and stuff, I'm going to give Invasions a 9 out of 10. The reason for it not being a 10, though, is because I feel like it doesn't have many rewards or unlockables in it. There were only about 3 to 4 chests that I found per world, and the worlds are very big. So I feel like there should be maybe at least 10 per world and honestly have better rewards, because a lot of the chests that I opened, there were mostly amulets and relics, which you can equip to make your character stronger. But I never used the talismans, and I only used the relic that gave me a 15% XP increase. Now finally, what I want to talk about, probably the biggest question about the game, is the story mode. So, in my personal opinion, the story mode was handled very well. All the changes they make to the characters I felt were good changes. I prefer some of them as the older ones. The biggest change is Scorpion and Sub-Zero are now brothers instead of enemies. That means that Sub-Zero is Bi-Han and Scorpion is now Kuai Liang instead of Hanzo Hasashi, the original Scorpion. And if you don't know, in the original timeline, Bi-Han was Sub-Zero, but Kuai Liang replaced him as Sub-Zero after Hanzo Hasashi's Scorpion killed Bi-Han for executing his family. People were wondering, where was Hanzo in this timeline? If he's not Scorpion, where is he? People thought he might already be dead, or he was actually Takeda, the founder of the Shirai Ryu, in this timeline. But now we have confirmation from Smoke's Tower ending that Hanzo Hasashi is actually a young boy in this timeline, and will be the first initiate in the new clan known as the Shirai Ryu. The new Shirai Ryu will be created by Scorpion and Smoke. But anyway, back to the story. The story mode consists of 15 chapters. Throughout each chapter, you of course play as a different character. The only bad thing I have to say about the story mode is that I wish it was a little longer. Maybe like 1 to 3 hours longer, honestly. I finished it in about 6, and I feel like some sections were a bit rushed in the end. My main example for this is the big reveal of the story. That is, the main villain is actually Shang Tsung.
But wait! There's more!
This isn't actually the Shang Tsung that we see in the trailers and throughout the whole game. This is in fact the Shang Tsung from the MK11 Aftermath ending. So, this reveal confirms that both endings in the Aftermath DLC are actually canon. So, whichever ending you pick, no matter what you pick, you're technically wrong. So it is revealed at the end of Chapter 11 that the main villain is a surviving Shang Tsung from the original timeline, or the second timeline, I guess. Then we kind of just get rushed into the last 3 chapters. They don't have much happening other than you go and have a few fights and destroy the portals so that Titan Shang Tsung's army can't get through. Then you play as Liu Kang and fight 4 people and stop Titan Shang Tsung from destroying your hourglass, which would in turn destroy your entire timeline as well. So you stop Titan Shang Tsung from doing that, and then you get thrusted into the final battle, and from here you can select your final warrior. So it doesn't really matter who you pick, because everything pretty much just happens the same way no matter who you pick. But in this chapter, you'll fight randomly generated characters, which is actually pretty damn cool and very funny in my opinion. There's a lot of mixtures of characters that are hilarious. The funniest one to me being John Connor, a mix of Johnny Cage and Shao Kahn. So when you finally get to the top, you defeat Shang Tsung, you destroy his timeline, the threat is neutralized, and Liu Kang is happy that the timelines are now safe. So leading up to the reveal of the big bad, the story was actually very good. It was paced well, and the story was being told very well. I cared about the characters and their stories, and the changes to the characters kept me even more interested about the characters and in the characters' stories, because I wanted to see how they changed the character fundamentally and what kind of purpose that would serve to the story. And honestly, I think that all of the changes are very well done, and it serves the story very well. The relationship between Johnny Cage and Kenshi was probably my favorite aspect of the story. Johnny Cage is hilarious, as always, and Kenshi is playing a bit of a hardened criminal until, of course, after that, the relationship gets stronger as Johnny realizes that Kenshi saved him and his life. This is when Johnny Cage gives him Sento, and they become pretty good friends throughout the rest of the story. All in all, the story was very good, and I would give it an overall 9 out of 10. So here comes the final verdict. Now, the biggest issue I have with Mortal Kombat 1 is a lack of game modes. We have stories, invasions, online, and the basic towers. Invasion mode is a mode that will be refreshed every 45 days and bring a new season and new content. But compared to Mortal Kombat 9 having story mode, the crypt, tag team, online, basic towers, challenge towers, test your luck, test your might, test your sight, and probably a few more that I'm forgetting, this seems a little lackluster. But the story mode, the gameplay, and the graphics are amazing. And so for the lack of modes, I'm just going to knock off half a point. And averaging all of my scores out, it comes out to a 9.5 out of 10. But knocking out half the point for the lack of game modes, the final verdict for Mortal Kombat 1 is a 9 out of 10.